Oh, we've got a lot of technology stuff to talk about today. Leaked Battlefield 3 footage, new SSDs, a Lego case, PCI Express 3.0, and memory that's 100 times faster than Flash. This is going to be ridiculous.
All right, what's up, everybody? Tech update time. We got a bunch of stories for you, and you're going to start, right?
Yeah, how about let's talk about the anonymous arrests that are going on.
Oh, no.
Yeah, not meaning that they're arresting people anonymously. Here's what's going on. Members of the alleged hacking group Anonymous have been arrested. Have you heard about this?
I heard about a 13-year-old kid that got arrested.
Well, they're trying to arrest, well, they've arrested like several of them now. Lots of them in Brooklyn, some of them in Long Island, and a lot of them in, I think even arrested one in Phoenix. But what's happened is the FBI is going after these kids, and they're really not even a hacking group. They just do DDoS attacks, which is, that just...
Questionable.
You know, I mean, that's
you know what the thing is that these kids are downloading the LOIC, the low orbit enter, whatever you call it, the program that they use it once and then they're on the list and they get arrested.
Right, but is that hacking?
No.
Should they be arrested?
Yeah. Well, no, not if they use it once and they're a little kid and they're just messing around and they think they're cool and they're trying to be a hacker.
Right.
If it's a real hacker who's actually coordinating a large-scale DDoS attack, you know, to an extent, I personally think that it's great because they're attacking pretty bad people, I think.
Right, well, Anonymous, they're generally political in their motivation.
Right.
You know, they go after people for a certain reason. You know, they attacked MasterCard a while back. They shut down that server. And with PayPal, they attacked PayPal because PayPal stopped all, I guess, from WikiLeaks. They stopped processing all donations from WikiLeaks. So if you're someone who's done a DDoS attack, if you're a member of Anonymous, they may be coming after you. And, you know, they're also looking for the guys behind LulzSec. Albert, what do you got next?
So check this out. This is one of the coolest things I've seen in a bit. This is the Samsung 750 and 950. They're not rolled out just yet, but these are really cool. Have you seen this, no? At all?
I have not.
Okay, this is a 3D monitor that turns any source into 3D without it actually being 3D. So it's got a built-in 3D microprocessor. You just stick it in there and it's going to automatically turn anything that you put into it 3D. And like real 3D, stereoscopic, 3D shutter glasses, whether it's TV, a Blu-ray, a video game, anything, automatic 3D. And on top of all that, it's actually a really good monitor. It's got an impressive color gamut. It's got great contrast ratio, a really incredible viewing angle. It looks really good, and it's got a 2 ms response time, so it's going to be incredible for gaming. And there's actually going to be the 750 and the 950, and they're going to be a little pricey, but they're really nice. And this is kind of 3D coming into, it's been a while. 3D is kind of still kind of gimmicky. This is going to make it so that anybody can get it, and it's kind of going to replace your regular monitor, so you can just 3D everything.
All right, so my question is, how the hell does it know what to put in the foreground, what to put in the background? I mean, like, if it's...
You know that in 3D, like, it's not picking, never in 3D is it picking what's going in the front. Your mind does that. Your brain does that. It's just giving you two different perspectives from each eye. So it's going 120 frames per second, and it's doing 60 in one and 60 in the other. And when this shutter closes, you see it from here, and then when this shutter closes, you see it from here, and that makes your brain pick out what's supposed to go. They're not picking anything.
I'm really skeptical about, like, 3D from nothing. You know what I mean? Taking a source that's not 3D and then turning it into a stereoscopic 3D source.
Well, the only problem is that it crops. Since you have to switch the images and they have to be shifted a little bit, you're always going to crop a little bit of your image off. So that's why in the big-time movies they use two cameras, but in reality, the difference between this camera and this camera is the fact that your perspective to the subject is different. So if you were just to crop it and move it over, it's the same thing, basically. It does work.
Right.
Have you seen 3D without glasses? That's kind of I'm skeptical about. That's voodoo.
It sounds like a headache waiting to happen.
I saw it at CES. It's voodoo. It's just you're sitting there and all of a sudden this thing is coming at you and you're like, what? How?
I don't know if I believe in it yet. I think it's a religion.
Wait till you see it. It's crazy. Very bizarre.
Okay, next up, I want to talk about the new consoles. I'm not a huge console gamer, but I think it's interesting because AMD yesterday announced that they're going to be doing the chip for, well, of course they're going to be doing the chip for the Xbox 720, but they announced that the Xbox 720 is going to have avatar-like graphic capabilities.
And 3D capabilities as
and
well.
3D capabilities. So AMD has all of the future consoles. The PS4 is going to be AMD. The Wii U is AMD. And now the Xbox 720, all AMD. What does this mean for the world? What do you think?
AMD takeover.
Yeah, AMD is taking over the universe.
Red.
Yeah, it looks like AMD is really, really sort of taking over the graphics world. I mean, right now the NVIDIA cards and the AMD cards are about the same speed. I think AMD has the fastest card on the planet right now, but the NVIDIA one's like that much slower.
And it always depends on like what day of the week it is, you know.
Yeah.
On Tuesday, AMD's faster, and then a week later, you know, NVIDIA's faster. But I've always been an NVIDIA fan, and ATI for the past like year has been kind of.
Yeah, I remember a couple of years ago, it was just like NVIDIA was just like hitting him over the head with a baseball bat.
Yeah.
But I mean, what I'm seeing right now is since they're going to be producing the chips for all these new consoles, they're going to have deeper pockets.
Of course, they're going to make a lot of money.
They're going to be able to innovate a lot more. I'm going to be curious to see what's going to be coming out of that company in the next few years.
Speaking of AMD, this is kind of an interesting story. You know how they're always fighting with each other. Well,
Right.
2 weeks ago, the fastest mobile GPU on the market was the GTX 580M, and it was like the fastest thing ever.
5990.
Yeah. Now, all of a sudden, the 6990's out, and it's 25% faster on some games. I mean, that's an insane jump. I always tell people, like, hey, don't freak out about which video card you're getting, because you're talking about 1 or 2 frames per second when you're, in the same money ballpark. No, this is a whole nother world of performance. 20% gain in frame rates is really high. That's a huge amount of performance.
Do we have any laptops that are already using it? I'm sure.
No, I don't think so. I'm sure they're out, but we don't.
Wait a second. Wait a second. No, I already mentioned this last week. There's a company, Ergotron or something like that.
Ergotron.
Is that, I think that's the name of the
Wait,
company.
you've actually seen this laptop? Like
There's
in your
pictures of it.
possession?
No.
Oh, I thought you said you had it. I'm like,
No.
oh, really?
I did an article on it last week.
Well, I mean, imagine this thing has 2 gigabytes of GDDR5 at 900 megahertz, which is, of course, triple data rate because it's whatever, and 256-bit memory interface. That's ridiculous.
It's not Ergotron.
Ergotron makes mounts,
Maybe.
yeah.
I don't remember who it was.
But I mean, imagine 1.7 billion transistors in the chips. They've gotten smaller on their form factor. 740 megahertz core clock. I mean, this is like stuff that a year or 2 years ago in a desktop wasn't available, and that's a 1.7 billion transistors.
I am so glad I'm not wearing pants that have a huge erection.
Yeah, rager. But yeah, that's some really pretty hard. And you know what's too? Everything is harder with 3D. This is the kind of stuff that you're going to need to make 3D run smoothly because you're kind of doubling everything up. You got to produce it twice almost. Really cool.
All right, so now I've got to get a new laptop again.
Yeah.
Asus will make a Logan Edition G74. They've told me this.
Yeah?
Yeah, we had a teleconference, video 3D teleconference using the new technology that you were just talking about.
Yep.
And they told me they were making a G74 Logan Edition with the 6990.
Yeah. You know, I'm a little jealous of your laptop there.
Yeah?
You have this really nice gaming Asus, and I have.
I shook it off the shelf.
This is a nice. This is a nice one too, but switchable graphics. I want the graphics to be on all the time.
All right, speaking of gaming, Battlefield 3. There has been some leaked footage. You have to see this. This is leaked alpha footage from Battlefield 3. I'm really excited about this. You know, we have a tournament coming up in November we're putting together in Miami. It's going to be at a hotel. It's going to be ridiculous. We're going to be on stage. There's going to be a DJ, drinks, everything.
I didn't know anything about this, actually.
Oh, well, I just kind of made it up. No, I'm serious. They're working on it right now. They're looking for sponsors and everything. So if you're a big company out there or you've got something you want to push, you better talk to us. I want to show you this video footage. Check this out. This is the throat stab. This is ridiculous.
Throat stab.
Yeah, this is from the alpha footage. This game looks beautiful. I think it looks better than Crysis.
I'm sure it'll be better gameplay than Crysis.
I'm sure it will be.
Battlefield 2 is already better than Crysis.
This is ridiculous. That is so inconvenient.
Oh, yeah.
That is so
Get 'em.
inconvenient.
Get 'em.
All right. So we'll upload some of that footage. I'll put a link to this on the YouTube video.
Very cool.
But I did want to share that alpha gameplay footage.
That was very fun. I actually enjoyed that a lot. Patriot has released their new Wildfire SSDs. Very impressive performance specs. Check this out. These are using the new SF2200 SansForce controller, and they're actually getting 555 megabytes sequential read speeds and 520 megabytes sequential write speeds. So that's extremely fast as far as SSD goes. They're available in 120, 240, and 480 gigabyte versions. And if you look at the link that we're going to provide on the channel, one of these websites called SSDReviewForums.com. It's actually one of my favorites. They get all the latest, greatest SSD reviews.
Right.
They got 8 of them. Patriot sent them 8 of them to put into a couple RAID cards and see what they could get out of that. And I mean, have you ever worked with SSDs in RAID? It's the most fantastic thing ever.
It's ridiculous.
It's just like, forget about waiting. I mean, you don't have to wait for anything. You load a program, bam, it just comes up. It's fantastic. So I can only imagine that we've moved on to a point where with SATA 6, we can get this type of throughput up to 555 megabytes of sequential read speed and actually make it affordable and then stick them onto a RAID controller and then send them up into the CPU. It's fantastic. I love it.
Okay, dude, I'm going to one-up you. IBM has developed memory that is 100 times faster than flash. It's PCM memory, which is phase change memory. I'm not going to get into that because it's crazy science and I don't have 30 minutes to talk about it. Maybe I'll make a separate video about how that works. It's been around for a while. You think I should?
I don't think you know. I don't think even if you read it, you would know what it means. Because I tried to read it and I was like, what does that mean?
There's some like electrons floating around and
confusing stuff.
Anyway, right now it's a little bit of a power hog, so they're working on that. But that's really the last hurdle to get over before they can release this to the public. And it's going to be ridiculous. It means that servers and computers and gaming rigs are going to be able to turn on instantaneously. It'll be able to store a lot of data. And now here's the really cool thing. Now, consumer grade for flash, you know it doesn't last that long.
Right.
3,000 cycles, it's dead.
Done.
Then you have like the enterprise grade flash, which is 30,000 cycles, it's done. This stuff will do like 10 million.
Really?
Yeah.
So it doesn't need to be replaced?
No. The only bad thing about it is after a period of years, this doesn't have anything to do with how many times you read and write and read and write and rewrite and rewrite and rewrite. It doesn't have anything to do with the cycles. But after a period of years, the electrons that are operating in this phase change memory start to wander around.
They get senile.
Yeah, they get senile. So they're trying to fix that with software, and they think they've almost got that fixed as well. So they're on the verge of releasing this, and it's going to make, I think it's the next big jump in technology, because the hard drive has always been the component that slows everything
down,
else down.
yeah.
So this is going to be
But
ridiculous.
you know what's funny is that stuff is so fast that it's going to blend the memory of your computer, your system memory, with your storage media. And so it's going to come to the point where it's all the same thing.
Right, your RAM
and you
and
have
everything, yeah.
your RAM, everything that's loaded on the operating system and the PC is actually also running off the hard drive at the same time. So that means that everything really is instantaneously. It's only as fast as the drive can go. It's going to load as fast as everything. Programs are going to start literally instantly. It's going to be fantastic.
It's going to be like real-time
That's
computing.
the real future, man. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, until we get quantum computing.
All right, a little bit less further into the future. This is actually something current again.
Right.
PCI Express 3.0 is finally coming out. So it's been quite a while since PCI Express came out, and if you remember, it's not really super duper fast. They're actually going to double the throughput. So we're going to go from 8 gigabits per second to 16 gigabit per second. So when you have an X16, that's going to
that's really going to help.
speed it up quite a bit. And there's actually already motherboards on. So check this out. The MSI X79 already has it, and as well as the Z68 GD80 G3. So all these, there's a couple Sandy bridges that still have, or that already have this technology. You're not going to have to go to the new socket or the next gen. These G3 gens are going to work, or third gens are going to work no problem. And that type of technology is going to increase. Not only is it going to be easier, but when the new chipsets come out, they're actually going to be able to patch more lanes into the CPU. So you're going to be able to maybe start having like 16, 16, 16, and 16. So you can run all 4 video cards at X16 going straight to the CPU.
About time.
Yeah, nasty SLI crossfire setups.
Does that mean that the CPU? Does that mean that the motherboards are going to have to get thicker?
No.
Because with all the extra lanes, it seems like eventually they're going to have to get thicker.
Maybe. I mean, these are all double data rate, and they're all like. I think that the actual board is just. I mean, inside is like a little copper thing like this big that sends the information.
I think they need to make them thicker.
Yeah?
They get thicker.
They've been getting thicker.
Yeah.
But I they're getting heavier.
Yeah.
Like the gigabyte boards that have the ultra durable 3 that are like an inch thick of silicon. Crazy stuff.
900 MOSFET and transistors out the.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Time for the WTF segment. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
This is ridiculous. Okay. Technology sometimes does weird things. And a South Carolina couple, they went to church, and the sermon that day was, "If you saw Jesus, would you know him?" And then, just like any good church-going couple from South Carolina would do, they went to Walmart after church. They probably went to the buffet first. But then they went to Walmart. And at Walmart, they got a receipt. And then they get home, and the guy's standing in the kitchen, and he looks at his receipt and says, "Dear, come here and look at this." And lo and behold, whose face is on that receipt?
Al Pacino.
You think it's Al Pacino? It looks like, let's say Jesus, but it looks like the Middle Eastern version of Jesus, not the Catholic, white, Aryan race version of Jesus. It looks like the real deal. That's the real Jesus right there on the Walmart receipt.
It does look a little bit like Jesus, huh? That's funny.
How the hell does a printer do that?
Divine intervention or something.
Yeah, they were really, like God showed up and he said, "You know what? This is with the sermon. Do you really know my face? Do you really know my face?"
And you know what?
And he did it with technology.
That's going to sell for a lot of money on eBay.
That receipt?
To some religious freak somewhere. Yeah.
See, we should start.
You just ruined it by saying it.
Wait a oh.
Can we cut that part out? We could be millionaires if you hadn't done that. Imagine buttered toast that looks like Jesus will make a fortune. I saw someone that had like a strawberry that they sold on eBay. It was crazy.
Was it Jesus strawberry?
Was it Jesus strawberry? Yeah, absolutely.
I wonder if there's money in other deities.
Oh yeah, like Vishnu, Krishna kind of.
You'd buy that, right?
Yeah.
All right, I think that's all we've got.
Well, no, we're not done yet. No.
You've got more?
I got my favorite thing, the whole thing I've been waiting for the entire time.
No, we're not going to talk about it.
Yeah, we are.
All right, go ahead. Last thing.
Check this out. This is the coolest flash drive I've ever seen, and I can't get over it because I want it so bad. It's the Super Talent RC8. It's a USB 3.0 flash drive that has basically multi-level NAND memory built in, 8-channel memory, and it's got a, which is a controller on it? The SandForce FS122 controller, USB 3.0 interface, 270 megabyte per second read speeds, and write speeds exceeding 240 megabytes per second.
Good Lord.
25 gigabyte, 50 gigabyte, and 100 gigabyte versions, and the 50 gigabyte is going to go for just over $100.
Are you serious?
That means that you could run like an entire Linux operating system faster than on any hard drive on the planet from
Right.
a thumb drive. That is sick. And for like live disks and Ubuntu like live OSs, that is on another level of performance. That is super.
God, I love the future.
Super cool. Me too.
It's really nice to live in the
I don't
future.
have patience for this stuff and waiting.
Yeah, that's all we have today.
Yeah.
Logan at TigerDirect.com.
Albert at tiger.com.
Tiger.com?
Actually, yeah.
How'd you get that?
I had it from before.
That makes me sick.
I used to do this before. Oh yeah, so did you.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've been here for a while, huh? We're
That's
good.
the end of this.
All right. Da-da-da.
How's that?
Pretty good. Good job. You got better at this, huh?